Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could join us as well. Well, when I say the name Canaan Cox, you guys probably recognize him as our Artist of the Week several times during the year that's been 2022. But he's someone who's really had a great year and being able to share great music, also sharing a bit of his story and his success with us as well. Well, as we're wrapping up this year, we invited Canaan to come back to us. This week we're announcing our Artist of the Year, both male and female. Canaan already knows this, but you guys are finding out this week that Canaan Cox is our Male Artist of the Year. We're going to talk to him about his year, what it's been like for him to share his music, and of course, the things that are coming up as well. Canaan, thank you so much again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, thank you so much for having me on again.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all mine. So let's kind of begin with where we are. I mean, as you kind of reflect on this year, Canaan, what has it been like for you to look at all the things that's happened and the success you've had come your way this year?
Yeah, man, it's truly, grateful, and it's definitely a reflecting year. It's probably the busiest year that I've had, just as far as not just career, not just content stuff, but just career. The closer you get, the more, people you meet, which is different facets of, just the music business. And so there's a lot going on in my brain. And so there's plenty of bad that comes with the good, but it's all, I focus on the good stuff. And it's been just a busy year. And we're actually not done yet. So.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, a couple of things, Canaan, when we were kind of coming together for the magazine to kind of think about the artists that kind of stood out this year, there are a couple of things that kind of impressed me about you. One is your sheer determination. I mean, we've seen you, of course, performing these reels in your home, singing to your songs with your family. We've seen you out there on the road sharing your music literally with strangers. Where does that determination come from, and how much do you think that really has attributed to your success this year?
I think it is 120% what has attributed to my success, especially today. There's been a lot of meetings going into next year, and we've chatted a lot about just sometimes it's hard to talk about because it's hard not to sound super vain, I guess, when you are the artist and stuff and you're like, oh, man, I'm working this hard, I'm doing this. And so sometimes I have to tread lightly or at least like throw a preface out there of like, hey, I'm not a vain piece of garbage, guys. But I definitely do attribute a lot of my success to just the self-discipline and working super hard. And because especially in this day and age, there's so much you can do by yourself. To be real honest with you, I mean, before COVID, I was having a few meetings and we were kind of getting there. And to be honest, I felt like I was almost getting shunned. I was almost getting kind of like this backlash of how much I was actually doing by myself. And I would leave meetings and I would almost feel like I intimidated people, like I intimidated like these professional companies and stuff, because it's like, dang, like he's out there and he's doing everything. It's like, what do we even do with this kid? He's like doing, how do we help him? And I feel like they didn't know what to do. And now after COVID and with TikTok and Reels and just the social stuff, it's almost as if you don't know what to do by yourself, like just no one's going to do it for you. And I mean that in everything. I think a lot of my ethos of who I am as a human being with my fitness and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, just no one's out there. No one's going to work as hard for you as you do. And I think that's really something to remember. And it's a little easier said than done. But I think if you do know like what you want to do, there's so much you can do by yourself. So yeah, man, I think I credit a lot of the success. What you said is just I think that's all of it. I mean, like you said, I was down on Broadway during CMA Fest during country music, and I was like, man, there's not a better time to do stuff. Social media is such a cool platform to do certain things and to pull on heartstrings. And I mean, not only was it cool to actually see fans' reactions, but then the content that you could create from that. And I think there's a difference in creating real, authentic content versus, just clickbait stuff.
Right.
But this was real. I mean, these were real these are real people listening to the song. We were getting real reactions. I put up there was a couple on there. The guy was like, I don't want to listen to you, or get away from me. I was like, okay, I think that just the content alone, we were pushing pre-saves for the album.
Right.
And I got more pre-saves from the content than I did, I got, I was on the street for a couple hours, so, building up the courage to actually just approach a random stranger and be like, hey, listen to my music. It takes a lot, but yeah, so, it's definitely, there's all kinds of stuff that you could do, and I think that's kind of what I struggle with the most. I know this is not what you were asking, but I think doing it yourself, there's just so many things you can do. So I'm a very big person, a very big believer of writing it down. So just writing down all the stuff you want to do, how to do it, and then work backwards of how you get there. So.
And Canaan, in doing that, you've done two things, I feel like. One, yes, you shared your music. You've been able to, reach a larger audience. But you also are showing other creatives what's possible. How does that feel to know that just by your living your life and doing what you do, you're helping someone else to pursue their own goal and dream?
It is literally everything that I've ever inspired to be. I think it was Denzel Washington that said, aspire to inspire. I aspire to inspire, aspire to inspire. And it's kind of what my I feel like my purpose on this life is. Unfortunately, my goal is to be, I'm chasing this 1% dream, and I'm selling a product that is 0.00029 cents per stream. So, it's but I always joke around and say that, if I actually sold a tangible product, I'd be a millionaire by now. If I, wanted to do something else. And I think I always use my sister as an example, and I hope she, doesn't hear this or think anything badly of it or whatever. I come from a small town or whatever. And she's always talked about, opening up a bakery. And, of course, life gets in the way and stuff like that. And I always tell her, I wish my biggest aspiration in life was to open up a bakery, because that's feasible. That's something that can be done. And obviously anything can be done, but I love the fact in the creative world that I've been able to do this with a lot of discipline and work ethic, and then having people reach out and be like, oh man, I started writing again because of this song. Or not just in the creative space, but just, in your life, hey man, your music is getting me through, this heartbreak or this struggle, or, my husband's overseas, and just listen to your music keeps a smile on my face. And so it is. It's definitely, I've always wanted to use this platform. You chase fame and you chase this success. And for me, it's never been about, the Benzes and the mansions and the, trips to Mykonos, Greece, or anything like that. It's to be able to create a platform so big that you could affect so many other people in a good way. And I use Chris Pratt sometimes as an example just because it's a bigger level, but, he's Chris Pratt. And, he does some of the things raising money for the Seattle Children's Hospital. Hey, we're $10 a thing, and you get to come on set, with Jurassic World with me or whatever. And they raise $5 million. And I'm like, that exact thing is what drives me. The bigger exposure, the bigger your message can be heard. And for me, it's just my music and touring and stuff. So man, it means the world when people message me. I love it when people send me messages and they're like, hey, I know you'll probably never see this. And usually to those messages, I'll send them like a video back, a full-on minute video of hey, this is Canaan, and I've actually read it, and I hope, just keep streaming the stuff. I'm glad it's there. And so it means just the most to know that my stuff is inspiring other people to get out there and create and just live their life.
Right. And I think that is such a cool thing, Canaan, and this is why you've had the success. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you're listening to Conversations Live. Canaan Cox is back with us today. We're talking with him about the year that's been 2022, and of course we're going to let you guys know what's to come. So one of the big things that happened this year, of course, releasing the album as well. Of course, the promo for that was insane. So talk to us about the billboard. That was one of the pictures we got a chance to see on Instagram, Canaan. What was it like for you to stand in front of that billboard and to see that being realized?
It was super cool in the sense of seeing how, I'm going to kind of put my foot in my mouth here, but I think it's worth talking about. So I see those kind of things, and I'm like super excited about it, you know. Or you're like you dream, oh man, like I'm gonna get up there, I want to get up there and stuff like that. And so through some of the meetings that I've had, we were looking at PR and we were talking about marketing and stuff like that. And I actually happened upon the people who run that. And so this was literally just me. Like I'm the one who made that happen. Like it wasn't, you know, and it wasn't like a big, you know, no one like gave me a phone call like, hey, you're going to go. It was like, I want to be on it. How do I get on it? Here's the stuff. Like I even created the artwork. Like I was like, cool, send me the dimensions. I'll make the artwork. New album out now. One of my buddies is a photographer. I was like, will you come out and take pictures of it? Again, circling back to content. Was like, love to grab some photos of this to share with it. And in this industry, perception is everything. So I was like, this is such a good. It felt really great to like work so hard. And then not only is it, you know, cool to see, and obviously everyone on Instagram and Facebook, and we're all like, oh man, you're doing it. And it wasn't even necessarily, you know, you're doing it. You know, someone's made this happen. It's like, yeah, I got myself up there.
Right.
So it was kind of a nice double, I don't know, like a double whammy. Like the album's out, we're doing great, doing cool stuff, and then also this nice little checklist of being able to just, again, work ethic and figuring it out and being resourceful on how do we get up there, all right, and check, what's next. So, yeah, man, it's been a real good year with the album.
So one of the big things for you, and I know you were excited about the last time we talked, Canaan, and that's something we've been able to see you do a whole lot, and that is the live performances. So talk to us about that. I mean, it's one thing to be in the studio recording the album, sharing it online, that all is great, and we all enjoy seeing it. But what was it like for you, the artist, to be back up on that stage and to feel that room of energy and to feel that coming back at you and to see the real response to people in the music?
Yeah, I mean, playing live is the best. I always talk about, you know, I have 7 sisters and a brother, so I grew up in a very large household, and I always like to accredit them for giving me a platform. I always loved being the center of attention. I always loved getting up there and performing for them, you know, oh, the lights have gone out, Canaan, you know, do the reenactment of Aladdin, or, you know, do the Grinch monologue or whatever. And I think that plays a lot into, you know, my degrees in musical theater. I love to perform. And so to be able to get on stage and not only just, you know, sit behind the guitar and your microphone and do what the songs are saying, you know, and singing the songs for the audience because they've affected them in the lyrics. But then for me to get up and perform, it's the best. It's my favorite part. It's performing. And a lot of that actually goes into a lot of my music. It wasn't until, you know, like 2017, I was doing acoustic shows, and then finally around 2018, it was more full band, and we were touring a lot more, and we were out there doing it. And my writing and my style of music started to change a bit more, catering to the live show. Just because you could probably hear it on my dude. Canaan's probably talking like 8,000 miles an hour. He said 8,000 things in 1 second. I'm a very high energy person. So on stage, that carries over as well. And so writing the songs, I'm like, man, if I go on tour, I want to like feel the songs with my energy to be able to portray that, you know, across to the audience. And so there's no better feeling up there, you know, seeing people loving the songs and singing it back to you. And we're about to do some more shows next year and working on a few international tours even.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's playing live. I don't know. It's like, think of your favorite thing in the universe to do, and that's me on stage. It's just up there with the mic, and I always jokingly talk to the audience about it's in between the songs that I love the most. Like talking to the audience and being just kind of a silly, stupid person up there, and, you know, just kind of giving them little insights about the life and career and where the song came from. And it's I like to pick on the audience a lot. Yeah, man, it's just a lot of fun. So I always tell them it's in between, the connections we're having in between the songs as well. That's kind of my favorite part.
Yeah, what a great thing. And I think, too, it goes to appreciation. So I want to ask you this as we wrap up here, Canaan. We're going to let our audience know how to stay connected with you. I'm always curious about this question, and if there is a question that's kind of become part of my thing as far as scripted questions go, this would be it. You know, you have done so much, and you've been able to achieve so much, and to live the dream of so many people. I'm curious for yourself, how is your idea of what success is for Canaan Cox? How has that changed?
That's definitely like the hardest question on the planet, because it's forever changing for me as well. Because before, you know, you'd think label and radio and those kind of things, and like that's what I guess the milestones you check off as an artist that, you know, technically quote unquote makes success. But that's forever changing. I mean, literally within the last couple of months, like I said back when we first started this conversation, like there's a lot you can do yourself. And not to sound vain, but my royalty checks are pretty nice. Like, and that's all coming to me. Like, I don't have to share that with, you know, much of anybody as far as the label goes or management and stuff like that. It's, you know, me working really hard. And so my definition of success changes because, you know, I got married last year and have a family, and, you know, before it was just me. And so I just had to worry really about me. So the successes came, you know, pretty quick, and now it's a different thing. It's like, man, maybe I don't want to be playing 400 shows means success, you know, in a year and a half. Like, the success part has changed where I've built up my song base enough to keep me at home. Like, if I don't have to miss my son's bedtime, I won't. And that just feels success. The fact that, you know, that money's coming in. And so, I mean, I bet if you ask me in 2 months, it'll be a different thing. But I'm guessing if I had to sum it up in one word, it would be freedom.
Okay.
And not to sound like a greedy person, but I mean, my dad always said, you know, like money, it's not the root of all evil. It's, you know, the people are evil. It's not, you know, I think money allows you to be free. It's not necessarily a bad thing to want to be successful in your financial state, because that allows you to, I don't have a 9 to 5. I'm right here. It's 11:27, and I'm cooking breakfast, and I woke up this morning with my son, and we went to the gym, and, you know, it's been great. And I'm sitting here in my kitchen talking to you, and the rest of my day is just my own to do whatever it is, you know, that I want to do. And so I think that at the end of the day, if I stepped back and looked, you know, I feel like I'm a success right now. But I know that's forever changing, you know?
Right. And I think that's it.
So,
I mean, I think that's one of the cool things about life, right? Continue to grow and to evolve for sure. Canaan, great conversation with you, man. I know a lot of things are going to be coming up for you, even as this year comes to a close going into next year. How can our audience stay connected with you and, of course, support the music?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, wherever you listen, wherever you stream, I'm available. Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Tidal, Pandora, YouTube Music. I'm on all of those. And then as far as a little bit, you know, deeper into my life, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So
make sure you guys are staying connected with Canaan. Canaan, congratulations to you again, man. Glad to catch back up, and looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. As always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.